I call to order this meeting of the City of St. Louis Board of Public Service Soldiers Memorial Commission. Today is Thursday, March 16th, 2023, and it's 3:06 p.m. My name is Linnea Magnuson, and I chair the commission.
Recording in progress.
We will proceed.
Lower level, west and perimeter.
We'll proceed according to the agenda. Okay, and the first thing on the agenda is a roll call of Soldiers Memorial Commissioners. And so in alphabetical order, Commissioner Corinne Barget? No. Commissioner Freddie Dunlap?
Here.
Yes. Commissioner Jason Fletcher?
Here.
Commissioner Judith Hansis? No. Linnea Magnuson, I'm here, and Commissioner Bruce Yampolsky? No. Okay, so we don't have a quorum then, which means we cannot approve the November 17th, 2022 or the January 19th, 2023 Soldiers Memorial Commission meeting minutes. We'll see if maybe if someone comes in, we can go back to those. But right now, let's just move on to Mark's report on the Soldiers Memorial, its operations, exhibits, programs, and events, and the collection. So Mark?
All right.
Should we say a Pledge of Allegiance?
Oh,
first?
You know what? Yes, I think we should do that. I'm sorry.
Sure. No, that's okay.
Jason, would you lead us in the pledge?
Sure.
Thanks.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I apologize about that. So now maybe we can move on to Mark.
I will say, Linnea, before I start, I have a text from Molly that she said she was trying to get into it. She says she's in, but she's on the public link, so she can't speak. But I don't see her here either. So,
oh, I'm sorry about that. I didn't.
So I just forwarded her the link that I think it was an auto-generated link that came out not too long ago, right. Maybe an hour ago. I forwarded that to her. That was the one I came in on, but she said.
I came in on the one on March 7th. There's an email from St. Louis TV or something. Yeah, March 7th.
Yeah. Let's see. The moderator from STL TV, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it possible to let in Molly? Molly Rose?
I see her as a attendee under the person
able to speak
list.
I didn't find a purchase. You want to create?
Is that Molly?
Can you hear me?
Yes,
this is Molly. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, apologize about that, Molly. I will definitely.
That's okay. I think I just got on the public link, so I'm viewing it as a webinar. So you can't see me, but I can see you. But it's fine for now.
I apologize. I will make sure I correct that. It's the first time through.
That's fine.
Bleeps.
Gotcha.
Hi, Molly.
Hi.
All right. Well, then I'll get started, Linnea, if you're
okay
for that. All right. As far as operations go, I think the most notable thing is we're in the process of hiring a digital media developer and visitor engagement navigator. So it's a kind of a split position, primarily developing digital media pieces, videos really, but then also doing a little bit of the navigating at the front desk and helping visitors get orientated. So the goal of that being that we produce some pretty dynamic content that starts to get pushed out more through social media and YouTube and the rest, that grows the base of an audience of people who are aware of Soldiers Memorial, that then eventually then results in visitations, during key moments like Memorial Day or Veterans Day or some of the larger annual events. So we'll see how that goes. But we have 2 in-person interviews next week for that position.
Oh, wow, that's good.
Yeah, it should be pretty exciting. We've never had a position like that. It's so we're gonna, it's a little bit of a learning curve, but we're gonna see how it goes, and we're hopeful that it's a good strategy to build more of a base audience that results in visitation. So see how it goes. Just a lot of like partnerships have been developing lately. 2 of the more significant ones. One's with the Missouri National Guard Hall of Fame. This is out of Kirksville, and they started this a couple of years ago. And I've met with them, and they're committed to holding their induction ceremony here in September. So should be a nice event. And it certainly will bring more attention to soldiers from the National Guard audience. So that should be nice. Then we're also working with St. Louis County Library in organizing shuttles that would take visitors from county library branches to Soldiers Memorial. And we're looking to start those in hopefully in June, but maybe July, and doing one a month for a few months from 3 of the different branches that are out in the county. So,
oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, we hear all the time, people are nervous about parking or safety or whatnot. So this is an attempt to get visitation, but also do it in a way that people are comfortable with. So hopefully that'll pay off. Met with Lydia this morning. She's our education coordinator. She says the school field trips are really picking up. So that's great. When we were planning Vietnam, this is a few years ago, we did a survey with teachers about what they would be interested in amongst a number of different topics, and Vietnam rated highly. So it's exciting to see that those teachers are actually delivering on that, and they are interested in bringing their students for the Vietnam exhibit. So that's great news. Lydia was also at a history education day up at the History Museum last week and made contacts with over 140 students. So again, more awareness raising and trying to tap into the audience that's at MHM and build awareness of Soldiers Memorial through the channels that we have there. So that's good news as well. And then we had a large event up at the History Museum to launch the kind of the vision, the vision for the rest of the decade called We Are St. Louis. And so Lydia and I had a table there representing Soldiers Memorial, made contacts with a lot of members of the Missouri Historical Society who had not yet been to Soldiers. And so hopefully that'll again turn into some visitation. Into exhibits, Vietnam at War and at Home is still doing very well, helping a lot with attendance and getting us back pretty close. We're not all the way there, but we're pretty close to the pre-pandemic numbers, which the best year we have is the 2019 numbers. Of course, some of 2019 was still feeling the boost that came from the November 2018 opening. So a lot of that carried over into 2019, but then once we got into 2020, of course, that's COVID. So 2019 is really kind of the best year that we have, at least under MHS operations, as far as what to look for in way of attendance and numbers. And we're pretty close to getting back there to that level, which is very good.
Can I ask you a question, Mark, before you go on?
Yep, please.
When you attendance, is it just the museum attendance, or does it with events? Or how do you calculate the attendance?
It's building attendance. So yeah, that's what I'm referring to now. So it could be anything. People coming in for exhibits or coming for special events. But it's Molly. Each day gets a number, and we have automatic counters that are located in different areas of the building. And so she gets a spreadsheet from this online source that our numbers it's all very technical. All these automatic sensors pick up the number of people in the galleries and then report it through this website. So Molly goes there, and then from there she pulls the one number for the building attendance for that day. So it's not just people going into the Vietnam exhibit, but actually the whole building. And I think those counters are probably pretty accurate. They're probably not 100% accurate, but I think that the important thing for me with those has always been, you can see the trends, and you can see, are we trending in the right direction or the wrong direction? And so you can see the comparisons over this time period since Vietnam opened, comparing that against the same time period in 2019, 2020, and 2021. And of course, 2020 and 2021 are they're bottomed out. I mean, there's not bad, but that you can really tell a huge difference. And now this year, 2022 to 23, you can see that the numbers are returning close to where they were prior to the pandemic. So another exhibit that or display that's happening is the 42nd annual National Veterans Creative Arts Festival. This is a VA program, which we just learned about this year, or at least I did. But each year for the past 42 years, the VA hosts this program of veterans who do some creative art. That art will be the winners of that competition. There's 50 pieces that will be selected by the VA. That those will all be on display here at Soldiers for the full month of April up on the second floor. So that should be pretty cool. I think there's some interesting pieces there. There's there's paintings, there's quilts, there's three-dimensional sculpture. There's all different types of art that these veterans do, and the VA was really, really excited to have it here at Soldiers, and we're really, really, really pleased with the idea that it could be here, which of course made us very happy for them to think so highly of Soldiers Memorial and that this could be the place for their event. So that was pretty great. Recent programs, in February, we had Dr. David Lukander here. He came from SUNY State University of New York. I'm forgetting which particular one now, close to New York City, but he's the author of Winning the War for Democracy, the March on Washington movement, and really is about African-American activism during World War II. And St. Louis played a huge role in that. They, different cities had different, their own branches and activities going on, but St. Louis really took a leadership role, and it was a really great program, and really tied the connections between, that civil rights activism that was happening during World War II and how those individuals connected with, Martin Luther King and the others that come in the late 50s and into the 60s, and kind of showed that whole trajectory of that movement. So it was a great presentation. Had pretty good attendance for it. But it was fun talking with Dr. Lukander. I met him on the steps of Soldiers down on Chestnut Street side, and he had never been to St. Louis, which kind of really surprised me, because he did all this incredible research from afar and knew all of these St. Louisans who played these critical roles, but this was his first time here, and it really kind of shocked me. But anyway, we were standing on the steps of Soldiers, the south steps there, and he was looking across, and he says, "Is that the Kiel Auditorium?" And I said, "Yeah, that's it." And he was just like, he was like a kid at Christmas. He's like, "That's where it all happened." He's like, they were holding all these incredibly important meetings there, and there's photos in his book from the interior of the Kiel that showed those meetings and what was happening. So it was really cool. It was a good program, and it was fun. And lots of stuff upcoming. One thing that's ongoing, and we kind of finally finalized this probably last in February, but every Saturday afternoon, we're offering free tours at 1 p.m., 2 p.m., and 3 p.m. And they're just open to the public. They're drop in, there's no fee, there's no reservation needed. And each one of those hours focuses on a different aspect. So whether it's the core galleries, that St. Louis and Service exhibit, or the Vietnam exhibit, or the outdoor aspects and the memorial aspects. So our volunteers are giving those tours, and that's going really well. And then on the next Friday, the 24th, we have an online virtual presentation called The Myths of Tet, the most misunderstood event in the Vietnam War. This is an author, professor from Clemson University in South Carolina. He'll be joining us online to talk about the Tet Offensive and what history's gotten wrong and right about trying to understand that moment in the war. And then not long after that, Wednesday, March 29th is National Vietnam Veterans Day. So we're offering 3 tours of the Vietnam exhibit throughout the day. Those again are free and no reservation needed. Those are happening all day long. All Vietnam veterans who come that day are receiving a lapel pin. And then in the afternoon, Bethesda Hospice is bringing some of their folks, including some Vietnam veterans who are living with them, here to Soldiers to tour the exhibit and then have a little presentation for them in the assembly hall at the end of the day. And then next thing, April 16th, Heaven and Earth, the author of that book, which was also a film, will be here, and there'll be a panel discussion with the St. Louis Vietnamese community, talking about really the South Vietnamese civilian perspective of the war and how civilians in South Vietnam were influenced by the war at that time. So that should be an interesting program as well. And then really the granddaddy of them all, Memorial Day observance, that's Monday, May 29th. And just met with the Legion, Christopher Schwartz from the Legion a couple days ago, kind of put some touches on the planning for that. But the big aspect of that is the unveiling, I guess you could say, of the additional 254 names that will be engraved on the Vietnam Memorial in the Court of Honor. So that should be a really special day. And Molly's been working really hard to find contacts of the additional individuals, so we'll be able to do direct invites to those folks. So hopefully some of them will come and really drive some interest and participation. Finally, as far as the collection goes, the acquisition committee met on Tuesday, the 24th. This was just a few days after this commission met and recommended 3 items for accessioning into the Soldiers Memorial Collection. One was the War Service Certificate of Frank Yampolsky. This is Bruce's father, I believe, United States Marine Corps, World War I veteran. And then 3 CDs, compact discs, containing audio files of Jerry Spector. Jerry was a St. Louisan who served in Vietnam with the Armed Forces Vietnam Network. And he did some radio broadcasts over there, and we were offered the recordings of him doing those broadcasts. So kind of probably not nearly as entertaining as Good Morning Vietnam, but that type of activity where they were reading the news and broadcasting to the soldiers over in country. And then finally, the Vietnam Women's Memorial maquette that was done by Glenna Goodacre. And this was down at the athletic club. So you may recall seeing it there, and it was donated by the club to the Soldiers Memorial Collection. So those 3 were offered up, recommended for accessioning into the collection. And that's all the news from Soldiers Memorial, and I'm happy to take questions. I hope of all that that I talked about, I really hope that you all can make it out on Memorial Day, Monday the 29th, and that'll start just a little bit before noon. We're going to start that, and then the first part of it then will be the traditional flag raising, which happens at noon on Memorial Day. So we'll kind of start with that and then roll into a ceremony that includes a reading of the names from the Vietnam Memorial, and we're looking for a Vietnam veteran keynote speaker as well for that program. So should be a nice day.
Sounds great.
Oh, thank you. That's all I got. Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions for Mark?
No, nothing here.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to make it down there though on Memorial Day.
I will be there for sure, of course. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. I think
I will be there.
Pretty excited about it this year. I think that it's going to be a nice moment to, you know, unveil the additional engravings on the memorial. And if the contacts that Molly has been finding, if that pans out, it could have a really nice audience with a kind of a moving moment with a lot of family and friends of those who lost their lives in the war there at in the Court of Honor.
Yeah. I'm glad Freddie's going to be there because Freddie's a Vietnam vet. So.
Oh, great. Thanks, Freddie.
Very welcome. Very welcome.
He'll be there too, but yeah.
Yep. Thanks. Yeah. My son's in the Army right now, and my dad was a Vietnam veteran as well.
Oh, wow.
So.
Well, you have to get in and see the exhibit, Jason, if you haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, I will. I used to go down there with my dad I think it was Veterans Day, actually, the Veterans Day parade. We used to come down and we'd be all around the Soldiers Memorial Museum. But ever since he's passed, it's been hard to get down there most years. So,
yeah.
But I am going to come back down there. I've wanted to bring my son in there, actually. That would be the next thing. He's in the Army Reserves. So
okay, he
is around. He's at Mizzou, and he's also in the Army Reserves. And so between his duty with the Army Reserves and school, maybe I can get him to come down.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Pick that tradition back up.
Yep. That's right.
Does anybody have any questions for Mark then?
Nope, I don't have any.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Too many here. I'm just looking at the agenda here. So, well, if no one has any questions for Mark, we can move on and call for questions, new business, or announcements. Anything? Okay. Seeing none, I guess, can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll do the
make a motion to adjourn the meeting. Yeah.
Okay, we've got both of them.
I'll second it.
Second,
right.
Great. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Anybody opposed? No. No abstentions, and meeting is adjourned. And thank you so much for coming, and thank you for giving us that really nice report, Mark. I feel like I really know what's going on after you do those. So.
Oh, good.